Hello! It's 2024 and I'm back for my single annual video, I guess. Last year I also uploaded just one video where I repainted a planner and talked about all the plans that I would be filling it with. And I know a lot of people are making videos about their goals for this year and plans that they have, but it would be a little redundant for me to talk about mine because they're basically all the same. Nothing has changed. But one change that has occurred that I did not mention in there is my channel name. It is no longer Cherry Deluxe and has now been dubbed Julina May Animations. Julina May being me, and animations being what I make and what I'm interested in. When I started this channel, I didn't really know what kind of niche I would end up in or what it would evolve into. I just kind of chose a name that just, I don't know, was a vague, broad thing so that in case I wanted to change to something else, I could do that and not feel boxed in by a name that was specifically about what I was doing or what I was making. I just didn't want it to be associated with one single thing, but I guess that kind of ended up becoming a double-edged sword because as time went on and as I spent more time with the name, it just sort of started to feel like a placeholder. Cherry Deluxe was cute, it was pin-up-y, there was something classy yet also sweet about it, but I just don't think it suits me. I don't aspire towards the glamour of vintage eras. I don't exude 1950s cherry coke sipping Americana. I'm just a silly little guy with my silly little ideas and I just want to be me. So while I still love Cherry Deluxe and all the fun I've had under the name, I think it would suit a little friend of mine much better. Look at that! New intro and character introduction all in one, baby! That being said, meet Cherry Deluxe, the newest red-hot member of the Inkwell Dollies. And if you don't know who they are, take a peek at my YouTube community tab. That's where I posted an introduction for each of the 3 main members of the Inkwell Dollies. Who is there? There's Noelle Inkley, Ethel Hayes, and Faye Queen. They all live in an abandoned animation studio, but they pop in to visit me from time to time as well. Cherry is the first in a troupe of Rainbow Inks, hint hint, and I guess now she's my official channel mascot. So, Cherry Deluxe will continue to live on. As for Julina May, that's just me. Nothing special there. Generally, I do just go by Julina, but I wanted to throw the May in there because it's part of my middle name, which is actually part of a longer Chinese name that I don't know how to pronounce. But I wanted to add it in just because, well, I don't know, I just kind of thought it was cute when you read it out loud. It sounds like Julina made animations, and it kind of rhymes with animations, and also it's less boring than just Julina. I don't know. That's the amount of effort I put into choosing my names for social media. Too much. So to get introspective, because when else am I gonna have a chance to get introspective? I've been through a lot of change over the past 3, almost 4 years since I started this channel. I was 20 and I'm gonna be turning 24 soon. And man, I'm glad to be done with my teens, but they do not warn you about your early 20s. Between that in and of itself and then having to navigate that during the big sick, I've literally kind of felt like I've been in a fog in terms of like who I am and what I'm doing with my life. I feel like a lot of people feel the same way, but I don't know, I still feel it. I'm at a point with my art where I want to really just like get back to the basics, make sure I have a grasp on the fundamentals of it because this is it. I am an artist. And I've struggled with identifying and coming to terms with the role that art plays in my life. And I don't know if this is gonna make sense to anyone. It's like, how do you not know if you're an artist? You literally draw, but there's more to it than that, at least for me, internally. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time. Just, why do I draw? Do I feel comfortable selling my art? Am I really an artist, or do I just do it because it's the only thing I've been told that I'm good at? But part of what has come to me through the fog is the answer to that, at least for now. I am an artist, and this is more than just the vent art I used to make as a teenager or the fan art I used to draw to make friends on the internet. Those aren't bad things at all. They're good and necessary things to do. I've just reached a point where I really want to hone it and be the best that I can be and draw the best art that I can, not just for myself, but for people like you who watch my art tutorials and like my art on Instagram and all that stuff. All of that is to say that this YouTube channel is a really big reason that I can push myself creatively and try new things. Because I have you guys to share it with. And that's not to say I'm putting all of my eggs in one basket and making YouTube my only source of happiness and depending on numbers and stats for validation, but it's literally just using social media the way it was intended. Making things, putting my creations out there, and meeting people who will appreciate it and have similar interests. I mean, it's been great. It's been really important to me to have this channel to come back to as a motivator, and I am really grateful that I can say that. And I know a lot of people who make things on YouTube and just on social media in general aren't able to say that because of discouragement they feel from mean comments or just general anxiety around the numbers themselves. So I'm just really glad that you guys are nice. I'm glad that this is a pretty small, tight-knit community, comparatively speaking. Although I have, at the time of making this video, reached 7,770 subscribers, which is wild. I feel like every time a small YouTuber reaches a milestone, it's like, okay, again, you're making a big deal out of every single one. But like literally, I have never had any reason to have 7,000 eyes on me ever. And I get that, like, a lot of those channels probably don't interact. They probably don't even remember that they subscribe to me. But it's just, it's crazy to think of the fact that at some point, a real person did hit subscribe, and now they're there as part of that 7,000. If you're watching this, I assume you are one of those who did hit subscribe. And so I just want to say, specifically to you, individually, thank you. And that's where I'm at right now. I won't say too much more because I know all talk and no results is really annoying, but I just wanted to fill you in, update you on the name change, and yeah, just move on forward. So, to reiterate, nothing major is going to change. We're still about art here, we're still about art tutorials and vintage cartoons. Hopefully soon we'll be getting to classic and silent films, and of course we are always about procrastinating to the moon and back. But I really do love each and every one of you. I am eternally grateful for you being here. So, stay creative, and I will see you next time. Bye! One more thing I want to add on, something new that I want to do for the end of my videos, if I can consistently continue making them. If you follow me on Instagram, I made a story back in the summer of 2023 saying that I had gotten a bunch of art books, like Disney art books, from one of my family friends. In addition to all those books, he gave me a USB drive full of all of the art reference books from his library. Front and back cover, not the books themselves, but just the front and back so that I could look them up if I wanted to and get some more resources for myself. And I want to share those same things with you guys as well. So going forward, I'm going to be going through that USB and giving you guys a recommendation of books that you can look up. For today's recommendation though, it's not going to be from that list. It's going to be in the same vein of animation, but it's one that I've read all the way through, so I can personally, like, full-heartedly recommend it. And that would be Out of the Inkwell. What's the actual full title? Out of the Inkwell, Max Fleischer and the Animation Revolution. That would be this. And I have the full book here as well. It looks nicer on the bookshelf without the dust cover, but that's what we're dealing with. And that's what I want you to read. It is essentially a biography written by Max Fleischer's son, chronicling his life and his inventions and the things he made as the creator of Betty Boop and Popeye and all of these other things. And I just think it's a really important resource for animation history. It's kind of hard for us to grasp, but back in the 1910s to 1920s, there really were just like a handful of men in America who invented things for the specific genre of animation, and Max Fleischer was the one who invented pretty much like all of them. I think he deserves a whole lot more credit. I think a lot more people need to know about what he's contributed to the animation and art world. So that's my recommendation for you, and the end of the video.